want to record this on, so we're all set to record. I just want to make sure, since you guys have probably already done many Zooms, if you have any noise where you are, like a dog barking or there's a lot of noise going on, then it might be a good idea to keep your mic muted. Otherwise, it's not necessary to do so. Then you can just speak up and ask questions anytime you want to do so. But I always suggest that a lot of times when you have a lot of people on there and there's noise, then you have to tell them to turn their mic off and all that sort of thing. But so far, it sounds pretty quiet. So the first thing I would like to start out doing here, let me get this to go away. The first thing I would like to start out doing is obviously, for you folks, you're familiar with this is the actual log that's playing. And if you look up here in the upper left-hand side of the log, you'll see it's called PDS Wednesday. What does that stand for? PD means pledge drive, S for summer, and then Wednesday. So if you go up here and you go to the scheduled events, you'll notice that there are all these PDSs: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Those are all pledge drives. And then the normal logs that we run throughout the week are just labeled Sun, Mun, TUE, WED, THUR, FRI, and SAT. They're all there. The way we put logs in, and by the way, I want you to understand something. I have done this for 20 years, 25 years with BSI and Simain. I was there before Cumulus bought it. However, it's very important you understand this. There are many ways to run Simain, and many of those ways are okay. They're the right way. Just because I'm suggesting doing it the way I do it doesn't necessarily mean there aren't other ways to do it. And if any of you along the way, wait a minute, I got to admit somebody else here. If any of you along the way have other ideas as to how you would like to do something, let me know, and I will be happy to let you know about that. But this is the scheduled events log. This is where all the programs are inserted. And I also like to point out to everybody that it's called KPIH schedule, and it needs to be set on that on both of these so that this actually happens every day. If that's not on, it won't happen. So then I'm going to also create logs, and hopefully working with Mary, I'm going to create logs for the winter time. So there'll actually be these logs we're running up here are the Sun, Mun, Tuesdays. These are the summer logs up here. We're going to have the winter logs because obviously I understand there's some time changes that affect the way this whole system operates. So so far.
Let me interrupt, Ron.
Please.
For Charlie's awareness, we get our programs through California. And when California changes its time, it requires us to adjust several of the programs that we carry. And that's what Ron is referring to about wintertime. And that'll take place like October or November, whatever the time change date is. The other thing, Ron, is without going into looking at it, can you just say what you had to do to create the pledge drive special logs? Why did you have to do that?
Well, the pledge drive logs, first, you all are familiar with hard brakes and flexible brakes. If you're not, a hard brake obviously happens at the exact time every hour. So if there's one at if the brake starts at 27 minutes past the hour and ends at 29 minutes past the hour, that happens at the exact time. Therefore, it's very important for our clock to be set exactly right. However, relevant radio doesn't do it that way. Relevant radio uses flexible brakes. That means that they send a trigger out to fire the brakes. So on the normal relevant radio log that we run, except during pledge drive, the brakes are different at different places. So we only have brakes at the bottom of the hour and top of the hour and so forth during the normal broadcast week without the pledge drive. But with the pledge drive, it's a totally different log. So that's why we have a different log at the bottom of the hour and the top of the hour. Now, there another thing that makes this a little bit confusing and creates a little bit of a problem for stations that run relevant and try to join up with non-relevant stations. There's a delay on relevant that is not the standard delay. There's no delay whatsoever on the programs that we're picking up from other places, and that's a good thing. But marrying them together is a bit of a problem to make sure that an ID plays at the top of each hour. So that's a little bit of a debacle, and we'll talk a little bit about that when we get a little closer to it. But that's the reason that there are different logs for Pledge Drive because they are different logs. That's all there is to it. Pledge Drive started your time at 4 a.m. on Monday and ends at, I believe, 7 p.m. Monday, if I'm not mistaken, your time. Saturday, 7 p.m. Saturday. Now, what does that mean? Well, they're not live all those hours, but they're playing back the logs from the live hours. Therefore, they have to keep the same clock format, and therefore we have to keep the same logs. So, having said that, I've shown you now this thing here, the scheduled events. So the scheduled events, and then sometimes it'll pop up down here at the bottom of the screen in order to see it. And there's something that I need to point out because if you read the instruction book on this Simain program and you want to do set up record something, if you look up here on, I hope you're seeing this. Let me take a look at my other computer. Yeah, you are seeing it. I have another computer set up behind me that I can look at. In the old days, we used this record tab to set up these record items that you see over here on the log. Well, Simain says, no, 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 we don't do that anymore. We use a macro to do the recordings. So I'm switching now to the macro here. And as I go over to the macro, I scroll down here and you'll see it'll say record. AKLMN or PQR. Okay, so here's the record tab. So you actually go in there, and I tell everybody just do it exactly the way I have done it here on the schedule. Record is already there, so if you're going to record at a particular time, you hit record, and then right after record, you hit a space bar, and then you hit start, START, comma, space, and then after that you hit 1, and that 1 means it's going to be a record on deck number 1, and then the name of the recording, whatever you're going to call it, I'm going to call it test like I did right here on the previous one, comma, space, and then if it's going to be, let's say it's 30 minutes, you can put 30 minutes in there, and that's how you do it. And then you just go down here to the bottom of this event builder, make sure it's on manual here, and then slide it over and put it in here. Now, I did one previous right up above it. You'll see it's very similar to what I did down there. But and once you get it over there, then you have the ability to left click on it. Now right click, and when you right click, scratch that, sorry about that. What I want to do is go to schedule events. So now at schedule events, if you want this to happen on Friday, you hit Friday, or you could hit every day of the week by clicking on every day, then it would be every day. So if you put it in like that, then it would do it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then if you want to set the time, once again, when you set the time, you click on here and go to set event time, and now you put the time in, whatever the time is that you want this recording to start, and voila, there it is. It's all set. They start at 6 o'clock, and it's going to happen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, we're going to take that out of there because we're not using that, and we don't want that to happen, and so we're going to make it go away. But I just left it there as an example of what we're doing. And then after you're finished doing all that, you just hit save up top here. I always say save, 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 save. Can't save too much. And that's how you set up a recording. I bring this to your attention because if you do read the instruction book, it'll tell you to go to the record tab, which is this thing here, and we're not doing that anymore. So that takes care of that. Another thing want to bring to your attention is we bought new software. The software that we're currently running in here is the way you find that is you go down here and go to About Simeon, and it's going to say you're running 2.3.3. The new system that we're installing is going to be 2.3.4. You barely will see any difference. It looks exactly like this one does. However, at the end of the year, they're coming out with a new Simeon, and because we bought it now, we get the right to get the new Simeon when it comes out. It'll be up to us to decide when we're going to take it. I generally don't like to take it the first week it comes out. I like to make sure that they've got all the bugs out of it, but it will be similar to what we have here, but it will be greatly improved. This program has not been rewritten for a long time. It's been updated and changed and cleaned up a little bit, but very little has been done to it because it seems to have worked out quite well for them. So there will be a newer program coming on right after the first of the year sometime. We also have, because we bought the new program and bought the new software, we have the right to call BSI anytime we want to and talk to their really talk to the technical support people. If you can't get a hold of me and you have a problem, call them. There's no charge, and the only thing you have to do, there's a place that I'm going to send a separate video on how to set up to call them. But you call them, and then they log into your computer and they give you a hand with it. So that's a no charge item, and that's for 12 months, starting in last month. So 12 months. That's how long you have because you've paid for the new program and you've paid for the service to maintain. So let's move on to the next event. So on this item number one that Deacon mentioned was, I anticipate we will be adding a 57 or 58-minute program from our archives. The title, it's the music hour. What steps do we take to do that? So I made it kind of easy for you, but I'm going to take you down now. We're going to enter into a program called Natural Log Lite. That's down here. You'll see it here in this little blue and yellow screen. So we're going to bring that up. And every time you open it up, it wants to save it. Instead of saving when you're finished, you save it when you start. So then when you're building a log, you go to Logs, and you go to Other Logs, and now we have a whole lot of other logs in here. And in the other log category, underneath the other logs, here's the list of the other logs. So these are all the logs that I have built using this system right now. And let's say you want to build a program that's going to have recorded music in it for like 57 minutes. So I'm looking for a program that we have in here that might be that long. I'm trying to remember. Catholic Answers Live might be one. This one is 55 minutes. Okay, so this program is already here, and this program is 55 minutes long. So rather than trying to build a brand new log, you take this program. All you do is go up to File, and in File you go to Copy Template. We're going to copy it, and we're going to call this test, T-E-S-T, music, M-U-S-I-C, and we're going to create this. Now, we're going to have a lot of extra lines here. We don't need these lines, so the first thing we do is get rid of the lines. If I go too fast, slow me down. So we get rid of the lines, and we go up to where it says Delete Lines. As I said, this is being recorded so you can play it back and look at it anytime you want to. Now, obviously, we copied this program. It's a test music, but it says it's called Catholic Answers Live. Well, that's not what it's going to be called. So you go up to this line here, and you say, well, I want to change this to something else. And what we're going to change it to is, go back here and get rid of that, and we're going to say Music Hour, M-U-S-I-C. O-U-R. So there's your music hour. All you have to put in. The only reason for music hour is that that names the log. So when the log comes up on your, when this log is put into the 6 o'clock hour, it will come up and it'll tell you, well, this is called the music hour. Now, every one of these logs, every one of the logs we build in this program starts with an and sign. And then the C thing means comment. And this at sign means do this right now. So when this log is in the computer and it comes up at 6 o'clock on Sunday evening when it's supposed to play, instead of 12 o'clock in here, 6 o'clock will be there. Everything we build is built around 12 o'clock, but when we plug it into the grid of where it goes, it changes all these times to the right hour. So at exactly 6 o'clock, that time, because the at sign's there, it says stop everything. I don't care what you're doing, and start the music hour. Now, the next thing it's going to do is this is called SW1L. Now, we will have a switcher in the system that has an 8-channel stereo switcher, and it is 8 channels plus, actually, it's 8 channels in and 2 channels out. When I mean 2 channels, I mean there's output number 1, which is stereo, and output 2 is stereo. Right now, SW1L stands for switcher position 1L for live. So when the program starts at exactly 6 o'clock, it turns on the Simain computer to play the program. But since Relevant Radio does not put the ID in at the end of the hour, they put it in at the beginning of the hour, there wouldn't be an ID in this log. So we put an ID in here before, as we start the program. Very unusual to play your ID after the top of the hour, but this is the only way we can do it because there's none at the end of the hour. Now, the next thing that's going to happen is, in this particular case, you may not want to do it this way, but right now it's set up to play a 1 minute break before the actual program starts. And here it is. It says commercial break, and it says 4 spots. Well, what does that 4 spots mean? Well, it's a 1 minute break, and it will gives this program the ability to put in 160, 230s, or 415s. So that's why we say that it has the four. You can put up to 4 spots in there. Now it makes its own decision the way we have it set up. It makes its own decision on what's going to go in here, so that maybe it will only put in a 60, or maybe you put a 230s in there. But that's based on how we have scheduled these 30s and 60s. So it fills it automatically. You don't have to do anything to it. Then we get down here where this program begins, and this program, let's just suppose for the moment it's 55 minutes long. There it is, and it's called Catholic Answers Live. That's just the file name that's in there. That's the first thing that's there. Those letters are the file name, and that's what it's going to be called. And we're just going to leave it there. And I'm going to go in here and change it just so it's not confusing. But let me back here. And so we're going to give this a file name of music1, MUSIC. We'll call it music1 just so maybe we want to call it music2 later on. And it says there that the program is 55 minutes long. So when it starts this program, this is going to be a file in the computer that you will drop things into. It's going to be a pre-recorded program that's 55 minutes long, and when it shows up on the event builder, it'll say, I'm 55 minutes, put something in me, put something in my cart to let me know what plays. Now, conceivably, if you run this once each week at 6 o'clock on Sunday evening, you could put on that same cart, this music1, you could put 4 weeks of programs in there. So it would play the first 55-minute program on the first Sunday, the second 55-minute program, the third. And once you put those 4 programs in there, you don't have to mess with it for the rest of the month. And if you put 2 months worth in, you don't have to mess with it for the next 2 months.
Can I stop you for a minute?
Sure.
So I think you took us into the natural log builder function. You found in this case, something that existed already.
I already built it in advance, yes.
Yeah. Now, I think I might be able to recreate that if I had to do that. But I didn't understand why you're leaving that scheduled time at 12 for the sake of your training.
Oh,
Why didn't it go to 6 p.m.?
this 12 over here,
Yeah.
every log that you build in natural log Lite is built in the 12 o'clock hour. It doesn't mean anything because when it begins to mean something is when we move it. If you hold on for another 2 minutes, you'll see what happens.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
That will automatically change to whatever hour you put it in. Now, at the end of this hour, it's 55 minutes, we're going to put in a 3-minute commercial break. And we said you can have 5 spots in that 3-minute commercial break. So we set that up and it will automatically load whatever it decides to put in there based on what we set up. And then we're also going to put an ID in here at the end of the hour. All done. And I recommend to you, until you really get good at building logs and knowing what these C's mean and the at sign and all that sort of thing, to copy something that's already been built and alter it rather than trying to build it from scratch. It's much easier to take something and alter it than it is to start all over again. Now, the log's built. Now, what do we do with the log? Well, the next thing that happens to the log is that we want to take this log and do a mass change. What does that mean? Well, the mass change means, here we go. This is our log. This are the 168 boxes in this grid here. And that represents every hour of the day for the entire week. So, I can't do this now because we haven't built it, but I'm going to show you that this would go in at 6 o'clock at night, right here, 6 p.m. And it would go on Sunday, 6 p.m. on Sunday, right down there. And you click here, and it would put an X in there, and that would be fine. That's where it's going to be. That's where it's going to live. Now I'm going to take it out of there because we don't have it yet, and it would try to make it. But once you put it in there, then when you build the Sunday log, then at 6 o'clock Sunday night, that program is going to be in that log. Now, let's say you're doing a program that, for example, I'm trying. It would be really nice if they had this thing all set up so that you can see what's already there. You can't do that, but what you can do is when you can go to another place here where the logs, where you say normal daily logs. This is Monday. Now you can look at any log for any day of any hour of the day on Monday. So let's say we want to go take a look at what's happening at 10 a.m. Monday morning. Well, we know there's something different going on there. Oh, yes, it's Virgin's most powerful radio, and that's 10 a.m. on Monday. You can go and check any one of those you want. You can make changes to it or do whatever you need to do with it. And we know we do something at 8 o'clock at night, and it's another similar type of program, and this is exactly the way it is. Now, if there would be any changes in this program, it would be very easy to come in here and alter this. And once it's altered, once you've made the changes in it, then you would go back and paste it back in where it was before. Once that's all completed, then you go out of this and you go to logs and commercial logs. Now, I'm going to go down here and show you where we are. This is the last log I built was for the 17th. I have to look at my schedule here. Okay, we'll build a log for the 18th. So now I'm going to build a brand new log for the 18th. We haven't really made any serious changes, although I did make a change. I made a change by 2 seconds in one program so that you don't hear it's in Catholic Answers Live. When we play that break at the bottom of the hour, sometimes they start talking after they go to the break. So I've fixed that so it won't be there. So we're going to build a new log. Yep. Build the new log. We're building the log. Voila. Here we go. This is doing it all for you. You don't have to do anything. Just putting the log together.
What is it you're building? I'm sorry. Is it the
I'm
one?
building the log, and this log is going to be for the 18th, which is Sunday. So it just built the entire Sunday log, and it tells you right here, guess what? Every break that we put in here is filled properly. There are no break errors and we don't have any problems. So now what do we want to do? Well, we want to go down here and we want to take a look at something that's going on at 7 p.m. at night. You can bring up 7 p.m. at night and it'll show you exactly what's happening at 7 p.m. at night or any part of the day. I'm not going to get into what would happen if there were break errors because that's a whole different. I'm going to do a separate video just on starting to build a log from scratch and then show you what happens if there are break errors. The way I've set it up and the way I balance the log out based on what I've been told to do, it's doing it exactly the way it should. Now let's scroll down here a little bit in this log and see what we got. Looking for, let's save the log. So we're going to save it as an automation log. So right here at the top it says automation. Save it as an automation log. It's going to save it as 8/18/24. So that's the log for Sunday. Convert it now. Hit convert. Done. Done. Okay, that log has been sent over to the production computer. Now,
May I stop you again, please? Sorry.
Go ahead.
You use natural log Lite. You found a log structure that, not a log structure. You found a programming structure that would work that we could modify. And then you went through these steps to bring it over to Sunday. And it really copied the existing Sunday log, but it would add in whatever change you made.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. What was there before is going to stay, except if I made some changes in the Sunday log. And I did make some changes in the Sunday log. So it says here Wednesday, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to say, well, I want to do a new log. So I'm going to say, no, I don't want to do this. And I'm going to import a log, import log, there, import log, import traffic log. Now I'm going to scroll down to where is the traffic log? Well, it's in here in this file, and today happens to be the 14th. But I put in the log for the 18th. That's this log right here. Click on that log. There's the 18th, and voila, here is the log for the 18th. Now the 18th is a Sunday, so let's kind of scroll through here. And I always hate show and tell because usually show and tell makes a liar out of me. Bulk it didn't here. So it's the Sunday log, and see, there's the saint of the day for Sunday. Now, if we click on the saint of the day for Sunday, and we bring that up, Sunday, August the 11th. Well, let's see, Sunday, August the 11th. That will be the Sunday. So that's not good because this log is going to play Sunday, and we need to change the saint of the day from August the 11th to what it should be. So let's go over here and find the saint of the day. And the way they put it together, the way the girls put this together is really good because they put the saint of the day right next to where these things are. So PQR, if we get to S, PQR, okay. So now we went saint of the day for the saint of the day for Sunday is going to be the 18th. So we need the saint of the day for the 18th. There it is. So we're just going to take that, right click and drag it over and replace it. And voila, all set. Saint of the day is going to play in there on the 18th. Now, we only forgot one step. This brought the log over and it tells us it's the 18th because it's 08 and then 1824. I want to save that, save log as. Now we'll go to the logs and we're going to go down to Sunday. And this is going to be just a SUN log because we're finished the pledge drive. So this is right there it is. So we just save it, overwrite it, and there it is, all done. So that's how you do that. I want to show you something else about this program that's very interesting. So we're going to go back in here. Let's go out of here. and we're going to go to another area of this called the traffic area and broadcast orders. Okay, these are things that we have scheduled that we concluded when we set this up that these things are going, we want these things scheduled at a number of times a day. And for example, the saint of the day is, I'll click on it. The saint of the day, here's the saint of the day, and we're going to go into the schedule. We're going to play it 6 times a day, the saint of the day. And the saint of the day on Monday is going to play 6 times a day on Monday. And it's 1 minute 30 seconds long. The log building system will determine where it goes and spread it out throughout the whole log, the saint of the day, and plug it in. So that's how you know where it is. We scheduled all these things that way. Then the other thing we did to try to make life easy for everybody, we built a lot of carts. We built a 15-second A cart, a 15-second B cart, 30-second A, B, C, D, and F carts, a 60 A and a 60 B cart. Now, why do we do that? Well, we built those so that there are a lot of things that you put on the air that you don't really care exactly where they are. You just want to make sure that they play frequently. So all you need to do on the actual broadcast log, which is this log right here, the one that's playing right now, all you need to do broadcast log is go to, say, a 30A cart. There's the 30A cart. Bring up the 30A cart. And this is all the things that the girls have put into the 30A cart. These are all 30-second spots. And so if they wanted to put more spots in there, they could go over here and get more spots out of the event builder. And if you want to find out where the spots are, you can go to folders, and in the folders you go to spots. I think we call them spots 30. And we haven't quite finished this yet. No, we haven't put any in there yet. Eventually, we're going to have all the 30-second stuff in that folder. Right now, they're all in another folder. It would make it much easier if all the 30-second stuff was in one folder, and that's what we're going to do. But you can
Now, Ron, let me just say, for the sake of Charlie, for Bill Heath, and I think Mike Hatfield is with us as well, we used to have to do every day, insert the saint of the day at the times that we wanted it to play. It was very labor intensive, time intensive. And this new approach is significantly oriented towards automation and less work.
Well, from the saint of the day standpoint, on the video that I sent out, I mentioned, and I did it myself, you can update 6 days. You can't update 7 days because you can't update the day you're working on. But you can update next 6 days, and I did it in less than 2 minutes and put all the new spots in less than 2 minutes because it's very easy to do. Just one more time, go back to that and find the saint of the day here in this particular log for Wednesday. All right, well, this is, oh, okay, well, there it is. I was going to show you another way to find it, but we'll go here, and there's the saint of the day. And we're going to go over here and go back in there. And you want to find saint of the day, you can go up here and put find and saint of, all you really have to put in there, and then it will take you to, no, sorry about that. Again, I tell you, I hate show and tell because it always makes a fool of me.
That's 38th time that's happened when you've done a show.
Yeah, it's the 38th time this morning. All right. Folders were supposed to be in the recordings. We're supposed to be in the carts folder. Sorry about that. So, no, I'm wrong again. Best to be in all of them. And then sort by always is important to sort by file name. That's over here on the left-hand side. So now when we get to SA, Going down here to P2. Or so there's the saint of the day. Up there, the one we just put in. And down here are the saints of the day cards. So let's get out of here and I'll show you how easy it is to do this. So if you want to change the saint of the day for Monday, here's Monday. You open up the cart, voila, and there it is. And Monday, this Monday is going to be Saturday, Sunday, Monday is going to be the 19th. So you just go over here and grab the 19th, put it in there, and it's done. And so you just go through all of those, just like I did there, all of those carts, and you can do it in less than 2 minutes and easy said than done. I know this all sounds like mud to you. If you haven't been doing it and you haven't been working with Simeon, it's got to sound really, really strange. But to be honest with you, like I say, I've been doing this for almost 25 years now and working with this very similar program. And I find it to be very well. We have a lot of Catholic stations with a lot of volunteers. Most of the volunteers are young people that pick it up and they end up showing me how to do it. Mary was, I don't know, is Mary here? Mary, are you here?
Yeah.
Oh, there she is. Well, she picked it up in like 30 minutes. I mean, it was like, but then she builds blogs and she builds websites and all kinds of stuff. So she's very computer agile. But it's not really that difficult to deal with. Now, so I answered that one question about building that one thing for you.
Before you leave the area of carts,
Yes.
it feeds into my next question that I had sent to you. If we wanted to build a 45-second cart for some reason that had to do with one of the programs we were importing, how would we build a new 45-second cart? And how would we put it in with a pre-recorded program?
With a pre-record, you're talking about like putting it into, and when, how often would this, yeah, you have to ask a couple of questions. How often would this run a day?
Well, let's say that the program would only run once a day and we were going to run it 3 times a week or something like that.
And you want to put this in that program.
Right.
Okay. So the way we would do that is we would say, well, let's see, what program might it be? Are you talking about putting it in like Catholic Answers or something?
You could use that as an example, but I'm thinking if we brought in a new program of Father Ricardo.
Let's deal with something we already have first. We'll make it a little bit easier to.
All right. Okay.
Without going back and building a whole new one. So the Catholic Answers is on at 1500. So let's go to 1500. So here at 1500, well, if you specifically wanted it in there, then you have to go and do it this way. You're going to have to go in here and build it in here. So, and for you folks that are familiar with radio, and most obviously Charlie is, this would normally be customers. These would normally be clients that go in here that we would schedule. But because it's a Catholic station, because we're not scheduling any advertising, so to speak, we've used it for a different purpose. But now let's say we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna go here and I'm going to make a new customer file, and the new customer, it's going to be customer number 20. I'm going to create customer number 20, and we're going to call this, I'm going to just, so I won't get confused, I'm going to call it test, E-S-T-A. So that's the name of the client. It's going to be test A. And down here it says, well, how much separation do you want between them? Well, we probably would say we want at least 45 minutes. 45 minutes between that probably would be good. And we'll go to an order. We're going to make a new order for this guy. And we're going to say up here, well, when's this going to play? Well, we're going to play it forever. we're going to say TFN. So we never have to worry about when it ends. That's done. Now we're going to go to the schedule. So here's the schedule. Add the order line. Now we're back here. So you want this thing to play at the 3 o'clock at the 3 o'clock hour. So then we go over to 3 o'clock hour. We go down here to 3 p.m. We go up here to 4 p.m. 4 p.m. 4 p.m. And let's say on Tuesday we want it to play. We can say four to 3 to 5. It doesn't that Catholic Answers is on for 2 hours, right? Yeah.
Sorry?
Catholic Answers is on for 2 hours from 3 to 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to say it's on from 3 to 5. So we want to play this thing every day of the week, and we want to play it 4 times a day. So it would play, let's say it will play 2 times a day. So it would play once in each hour, or we could have it play twice in each hour, any way we want to. Two.
Yeah, Ron, I don't think he's asking about the scheduling so much as how do you create a 45-second unit? You have a 30-second unit, which is standard, a 60-second unit, which is standard. How would you create a 45-second spot?
Correct.
Okay, so if you look here, I'm clicking on 45 seconds. That's how long it is. Voila, there it is, 45 seconds.
Got it.
Okay, I put the 45 seconds in there. We don't care much about this stuff. Sometimes I say underwriting announcement. That doesn't make any difference. This 0 in here means this cannot be preempted. So between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock on those days in those programs that are playing, when the log loads those programs in, it's going to say, oops, I got to put this in there instead of what we would normally put in there. So then we go over here and we got to change this, and we have to have some new copy. And in the new copy, we call this test A, E-S-T-A. That's going to be the name of the audio file that's going to be in there. It's 45 seconds long. We're going to create that. Done, created. And we're going to, that's 45 seconds long. And then when we get back here, we're going to say, use that copy. And there it is, test A, built for 45 seconds. It's going to start on the 14th. And we're going to say, save that. And there you go. It's all set. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's going to play 10 times a week, 45 seconds long. And when the log comes up, it will be in that log. Now, I'll go back and address the question that you asked about how to build the cart. So it's done. It's going to play that file, but it doesn't know what the file is. But it's going to play it. Now, if you don't mind, just so. Hang on one second here. I don't want to schedule this because we don't have anything built for that. So I don't want this to take over and start playing. So I'm going to go back here for the moment and just eliminate it.
Ron,
Yeah.
excuse the interrupt, but I want to give you a reason why this could be helpful, might be helpful. The downloads that we've gotten from EWTN for Mother Angelica's show, the new show we started carrying a couple months ago, they have been unfaithful about giving us fixed length programs. And it could have been helpful, might have been helpful to our building effort if we had a 45-second cart. Right now, I've rebuilt their programs for a fixed time on our system. But that's one reason why having a different length could be helpful to us.
Okay, I got it. All right. Well, now we're going to answer the question directly. How do you build a 45-second cart? You go here, the event builder. You go here, and where it says this is a new cart that we want to build. And now I don't know that we have anything that's 45 seconds. You know, is there anything in here that's 45 seconds long?
You might find an ID that's 45 seconds if you want to go to the eyes.
Well, I'll just throw anything in here for the moment. Just
All right,
have to put something in it to build it. But we'll go here. We'll go here. We want this on manual. I'm just going to put this in here because, like I said, pretend it's 45 seconds long.
Yep.
So then you go up here and you hit cart properties, and you say this is a. Now, is so the length of this is 45 seconds? So what would we call this?
MA Mother Angelica close. MA close.
MACLOSE. Okay, it's Mother Angelica close. 15 seconds long. It's 45 seconds long, Crider. Is that right? Well, we'll do it my way. 45 seconds long. Okay. Now, the tricky part is we built the cart, but now we have to make sure the log is going to see it. So we're going to save it as, and it's going to be in a cart, and it's going to be, so we say, put it in the cart department, and we call it, what do we call it, test A or something, test one? Do we call it test A?
I think it was test A.
Yeah. TESTA. So we do that. That's going to go in the carts, and there you are. It's all set. Now, it's going to play automatically it would if we didn't unschedule. It's going to play automatically between 3 and 5 every day, a 45-second cart, and it's going to fit into the log because we have 15-second carts in there. So you'll have 45 seconds plus a 15-second, which will make it a minute. What you don't want to do is say, well, I think I want to make one that's 26 seconds long. Well, that's a bad idea. I mean, they need to be in 10 second, 30 second, 60 second, 45 seconds. Anything else is it won't work properly.
Got it.
So on your file naming, is it picky that for the capitals and the lowercase and the spaces?
Okay. The rule, what do they call it? The naming convention? Do they call it?
Convention, yeah, that's right.
Convention is you're not supposed to have more than 8 letters and numbers together, combination of letters and numbers. No, what do you call those things? No, nothing else other than letters. No spaces,
Character.
no spaces, no special characters, just like you see over here. It can look like that. Here's a 30B. Now, Deacon went to a meeting and they said, well, you need a naming convention and you need to name them and have all these numbers in there. I subscribed to that early on when I first started working with this program, and I said, this is not easy. Let's just make sure when we look at something, we have a general idea as to what it is. Certainly we know 30A, 30B, we know that those are carts. As we scroll down here, we know that this is the state of the day and things like that. And they also can't be more than 8 letters and numbers. They're not supposed to be more than 8 letters and numbers. This is all because this program uses what they call a Microsoft Audio MDB file. I don't know what Audio MDB stands for, but that's what it is. It is the weakest link of the entire system. So occasionally it gets corrupt and it can't find things, so we have to go in and erase the Audio MDB file, and then it will rebuild it all by itself and put it back together, and everything is fine. I have not seen that happen on this radio station, but on another Catholic station I deal with, I saw it this morning, and all of a sudden it was saying, oh, none of the switches are showing up. What happened to all the switches? Corrupt Audio MDB file. I went in, erased the Audio MDB file. 2 minutes later, it was rebuilt and everything was back to normal. The new program that's coming out at the end of the year, beginning of next year, no Audio MDB file. That's history. It's going to have a different way that it finds things, and then you will be able to put different characters and all kinds of stuff over here. If you want,
You've accidentally created an opening for another question.
Okay.
Excuse, I'm sorry.
Ready to go. You're ready to go. I'm finished with that part of it.
Yep. So let's use the example of Catholic Answers Live, which you know we're currently importing directly from San Diego. Once in a while, something will get corrupted, mostly at their end, and we don't have audio feed. I have known that we could raise the RR switcher or leveler
Down here, I'll get my,
and that would bring up relevant radio, which would put us back on the air with the wrong program, but it would have us broadcasting relevant radio. Is there a way to come back to Catholic Answers if they fix the problem and we were ready for them at a particular point in the hour or at the beginning of the next hour?
absolutely. So this is a little bit premature, but all these faders down here, with the exception of the ones on the left, the ones on the right here, all these faders are going to go away. They're not going to be here anymore. When we
What?
no faders. They're being replaced by hotkeys. These are the same thing as the faders, except they're called hotkeys. And here are the hotkeys. So to answer your question, you say, oh no, Catholic Answers Live is gone. What do I do? Instantly go over here and push this button right here, relevant radio. Relevant radio instantly be on the air, and it'll stay on the air until you want to put Catholic Answers back. Instead of bringing up the slider, you just push the button.
Okay, well, I understand that. Okay.
And we may have a few other ones here, like we may have EWTN. That would be here on 5. You could bring up EWTN and so forth. But that's how you do it. So to answer your question directly, but I want to show you something that a lot of you may not be familiar with. Let me see if I can bring this up. So I'm going to go here. And hang on a second. I'm going to go up here if I can get there. I'm not sure I can get there. So I want to put in here 192, and this is 103. Okay. I just put in 192.168.1.103. I'll show you where that is. The password is already here. You just click on this. And voila, here you are. And there is Catholic Answers Live. Now, at the moment, there isn't any audio there. As you can see, you would see it over here on the right-hand side. There's no audio there right now. But it says here that it's connected. That's a good thing. So and it says over here that it's online. So that's how you know that it's working. And if it's not there, then you need to go here and take a look and see if it's your fault or their fault. And so far, since I've been working with you, it's generally been their fault. So that's how you know that whether that's working. Now, what I've done here, if I don't want to go back to the desktop quite yet. So, but on the desktop, I have three different places. You can click on it. It will take you directly to that 192.168.1.103 or 102 or 101, depending on where you want to go. And you can see that audio feed. 102 is for relevant radio. If your relevant radio leaves you, then you can go and see what happened there.
Is there a default position so that if there is a defective file and you end up with dead air for an extended period of time, let's say a minute and a half, 2 minutes, pick a number, it doesn't really matter, that the system will recognize that the source is corrupted and will go to another source?
May I ask if you're Catholic?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
So then you're well aware of the fact that in Mass, there is an extensive amount of dead air during various events of the Mass. We have the ability to say if there's dead air for more than 30, 40, whatever laboratory number, switch to something else. We can set it up, and we can set it up on the event builder to do that, to trigger it to do something else to cover that air. No problem whatsoever. It's just you're walking on a thin ground because if in the middle of the mass they have a lengthy delay, they're not off the air. They're just going from the pulpit to the lectern or the altar, and sometimes it takes them longer to get there than they normally should. Let's say we said by 2 minutes, and it's 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Well, after 2 minutes, it switched off and went somewhere else. Now we can also set it up, and when it comes back, it would return. So yes, to answer your question, we have the ability to do that with the new switcher that we're getting. That's another reason why we got the switcher, Deacon. I know when I just mentioned the fact that your sliders were going to go away, I was like, oh no, another thing is going to go away. Well, we have a lot more features with the switcher that we're installing that has the silent sensor built into it.
Okay.
So is there a way to remotely switch it if you're not at the station?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So that they have their own way of doing it. I use an outfit called Dualmon, Dualmon, and as long as you guys are working with me, you guys have access to my Dualmon. You can just log into it, just like I'm logging into it right now, and deal with it and do whatever you need to do. And multiple people
Okay.
be logged in at the same time.
Thanks.
Okay, we covered the 45-second cart. You're asking about graphic display. So the way we're operating right now is that we're doing our streaming by way of, let me go double check this just to be sure that everything's okay. 'Cause we're playing.
Did you leave anything in the log that was a test or a demo or something that you need to get out of there?
No, I didn't leave
All
that.
right.
So the way right now we're streaming, we're using a new streaming service. And it's called SecureNet Systems. They have 2,000, 3,000 clients. They're actually located here in Florida. And what it gave us the ability to have is metadata and pictures and all kinds of things that stream along with our programming. And as I was telling Deacon earlier, I'm going to send you, or before we're finished this project, you'll have a separate page on your website that you can go to, and it'll say how to listen to the radio station. You go and click on that, and if you're in your car, do it this way. And if you're listening to it on Alexa, you click on that button, and or you can tell Alexa how to listen to it, but it gives you the words to say for Alexa. And then there's another one that's done by Google, and you can say, "Hey Google," and Google will bring it up. You can listen to this radio station anywhere in the world on many different places. But when I'm finished, at least it'll be 10 or 15 different places, in addition to getting it directly from SecureNet Systems. Getting it directly from SecureNet Systems means there will not be any commercials. There will only be what you're transmitting. If you get it from TuneIn, like you will get it at the moment from TuneIn, you're going to get about a minute and a half's worth of commercials near the top of the hour. We're going to change that, obviously, and so TuneIn will be getting it directly from us, so you won't get those commercials. But many different ways to receive it. And this is a really good system. It's relative. I don't think you're paying any more money for this than you were before, are you? Deacon?
A little bit more, yeah.
But it's really well worth it. Then in addition to that, you can put pictures up for your clients, like your restaurant guy family there that has a restaurant in town. Put pictures of the restaurant on the website when it starts to play. Now, it shows up differently on different things. For example, if you bring the radio station up on your computer, you will see those things. You will see the pictures and a couple of slides that I built and so forth. If you bring it up on your iPhone, it'll be somewhat reduced because, as you know, the iPhone it's smaller and you can't put quite as much information on there. If you bring it up on a tablet, you'll see more information. All right.
The example that the question format that I gave you was, let's say that we get a car dealer in town to start underwriting on our station for 3 months or 6 months. We would like to put their graphics in, pictures of their cars or their logo or something So help us understand how that would take place.
That's why I was asking you to get that information. I haven't gotten it yet from SecureNet, and it's my fault because I should have called them back. Uh, Once I handed streaming over to the radio station, I lost control of my ability to get into SecureNet, and I now need to reestablish that. So that's another. I'm going to have to do another video to show you how to do it. But it's very easy. You just go into it, and it'll say add. You want to add a picture, and there's two different size pictures you can put in. There's one that's 300 by 250, and that's the square picture that you'll see, or the rectangular picture you'll see on the right-hand side of the screen on your computer. And then there's one that's 728 by 90. That's on the bottom of the screen. And so you can make a very long skinny picture at the bottom of the screen or a rectangular picture in the middle of the screen. And then you can set those up to rotate in any fashion you want. And in addition to that, when you bring it up on your computer while you're listening to the radio station, you can click on that picture and it will take you to that website of that particular advertiser, or it will take you to the Holy Nativity Church that I'm looking at. It's running on one of my other computers here right now. It'll bring up Holy Nativity. You can click on the picture while you're listening to the radio station, and it will bring up the website of Holy Nativity. Or what is the other church in town?
St. Philip.
Yeah, both of those. Their pictures are up on the website, and when you click on there, it'll take you there to see take you to their website.
Let me ask a question related to what you just said. When a St. Philip the Apostle pastor promo is being run, will that picture show on the streaming screen?
Sure. We just have to program it to do so. But yes, we can make the picture follow the audio.
Well, I think that would be very important, because if we're going to try to market the graphics capability of this for, again, a car dealer, they want to see their stuff popping up from time to time.
Yeah.
And by the way, before I forget it, because I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I don't just do this type of stuff. I build transmitters, radio stations, tower sites, and so forth and so on. But the moment I found out that the station had 4 watts, I said, I don't know a station that has 4 watts. Even broken stations have more power than 4 watts. I can't understand that. Now, I've been there, and I was able to pick the station up at least 7 or 8 miles from town, coming into town, which was far better than I had anticipated. But when I went to our consulting engineers, our FCC engineers whom we work with in Washington, Carl T. Jones, those guys took one look at it and said, Ron, how much power do you want? I mean, we can get you any amount of, you want 100,000 watts? You get you 100,000 watts out there. Because you're far enough away from the principal city, which is Phoenix, that you have a lot more latitude to get more power. Now, there must have been a reason when you grabbed this low power channel and you got 4 watts. So we don't know why you got 4 watts. You can't change the power on this frequency, but we can get you another frequency that you can get 1,000 watts, 2,500 watts, 3,000 watts.
I'd love to see that by our 10th anniversary. That would be a holy and awesome goal.
Well, my suggestion is that if we get you 1,000 watts, that means that you can run it with a 500 watt transmitter that's not very much more well, your electricity bill will be a little bit higher, but it's not a notoriously expensive transmitter. Also, that transmitter, you have a Nautel transmitter, the best transmitter on the planet. They don't build better transmitters, but it is an older transmitter. That transmitter is 9 years old, and the new transmitters now the audio follows the video, on your radio. So on the newer car radios, when you tune into the radio station and you have the newer transmitter, you will see the call letters of the station. You'll see the name and phone number of the underwriter or advertiser, if you want to call it that, on the car radio, which we can't do with the current transmitter we have.
Can you send a menu, a price list from your consulting engineering firm that would say, if you wanted to do 1,000 watts, if you wanted to do 5,000 watts? I don't see probably going bigger than that. They're not going to want to go 100,000 watts,
Of course not.
but because,
Yeah.
based on the population, but just some cost breakout of what it might cost for the purchase of the transmitter and the installation.
Well, that's kind of my deal because I can buy it better than they can, or
Okay.
you can buy it better than they can. I buy from a company called Broadcasters General Store. They're located in northern Florida, and Deacon will tell you that when you get the invoice, you'll see how much the list price is and how much they sell it for. Now, needless to say, they sell it to me because they think I'm going to make a profit on it. I don't make any profit on anything I sell to Catholic radio stations. I don't mark up any of the equipment I sell. Occasionally, I'll mark it up just a teeny bit because of some extra stuff in there, some extra freight or things like that. But other than that,
Yeah.
there's no markup. So now Carl T. Jones could only give you the list price. They're the FCC engineers. So I can send you a list of what it would cost to, and the various power levels and so forth. And then I'll get the engineer that I work with over there to send you, well, one of these days we need to get on the phone, all of us together, and talk to him about what frequency you're going to get. I mean, I love your frequency, 98.9, right in the middle of the dial. It's a great spot. So, you know, I mean,
The 4 watts came about because we had trouble raising $50,000, and all we could do was a low power.
right. But what I don't understand is that state that you have a 300 watt transmitter, you could have had 150 watts with a 300 watt transmitter. So why have 4 watts? Obviously, you're protecting somebody someplace. No, I don't know. And our consulting engineer knows. I just haven't gotten into the weeds with him about it, other than the fact he says, "You tell me what you want, we'll find a frequency that you can get it on." So I said, "Well,
Yeah.
not-
Well, my idea, Deacon, is that if we had a goal, a financial goal, and we could create a specific fundraising event for that purpose, then it'd be a lot better than trying to see how much we could get and then try to see what we could get for it. So,
I agree.
Charlie, what we can do is I can arrange. I think the application fee, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong when you finally find out about it. I think that Carl T. Jones charges $1,500 to file the application with the FCC for a change in frequency. And
okay.
they do all the engineering and all that. Now, once you get that, you have 3 years to build it. So my suggestion is that, you know, once we finish this project or whatever you decide to do it, you should do it immediately, just so that we can get that frequency, get it, and then you have 3 years to build it. So
Got it.
that
So,
makes the most sense.
Is
Well,
there some, I'm sorry.
roughly, how much is the 1,000 watt transmitter?
1,000 watt transmitter. I just bought a 1,000 watt transmitter the other day. 1,000 watt Nautel fully equipped was like $12,000.
Okay.
Is there some resale
It is-
value on the Nautel that we have?
Well, my suggestion to you, and managers hate what I suggest, but you only have one transmitter, so I would suggest you keep it as a backup.
Keep it as a backup.
Yeah. Backup.
I mean, it's a 10-year-old transmitter. Nautels just don't go bad. I've never had a Nautel go bad on me, and I've been buying Nautels for at least 20 years now, and they're fabulous transmitters. So stations should always have if they can afford a backup, especially if you're buying a new one, because what are you going to get for the old one? That transmitter
Nothing.
now, that 300 watt transmitter now sells for about $6,000-$6,500, and you could probably, if you sold it, you could probably get $2,500 for it.
Yeah, true. Yeah. It'd be good to have a backup, even if it's lower power. So yeah, in the event of some catastrophic failure, you'd have that. That'd be a good plan.
I was amazed that the signal was as good as it was while I was there, driving around town in the car. I didn't notice any dropouts.
There's a couple holes. If you listen regularly, we know where they are. So
Yeah.
that
I was only on the main streets of town, so I wasn't anywhere that I would notice a dropout. But as I was saying, as I was driving up from Phoenix, it was about 8 miles from town before I could get it reliably.
okay. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a good signal. The transmitter's working well. but it would be that would be a growth option, I would think, to up the power, and depending on what frequencies were available at 1,000 watts or 5,000 watts, So
Now, let me say this to you. I'm going to sound like I'm schmoozing, and I'm not. I do a lot of Catholic radio stations. A bunch. I've probably done 40, 50 Catholic stations. This is one of the better sounding Catholic radio stations. And some of the Catholic stations I work with have big budgets. I mean, they have people out bringing in the underwriting, and they have people, half a dozen people on their payroll. And I mean, they're spending tons and tons and tons of money to run the radio station. And this little radio station, with the few people that you have little gems there that are making this thing work. And they're very diligent about making it work. And the station sounds really good. Nobody listens to this station more than I do. Nobody does. Because I listen to it 24 hours a day right now. When I say 24 hours, I mean 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning my time. My earbuds are in my ears. I may be sleeping, but when every time I wake up, I want to make sure the station's there, all the brakes are running right, and so forth. So I've spent a lot of time listening, and I think it's programmed nicely. And all I care about, as I told Deacon, I just want to walk away from this place with it sounding better than it was when I got here. Trying to for everybody to operate it and make it a little bit more reliable.
Amen. Bless you for that. We appreciate it.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I've got to ring off. I've got another appointment, but it's been a pleasure. Thanks for including me, and we'll talk again soon.
You're very knowledgeable, and the pleasure is all mine. Deacon, what else do you have you want me to talk about?
Is there anything that we need to cover about the graphics? I know you said you're going to be doing something else.
I can't do anything with that until I can show you how to get there. That's a whole separate deal. And what I can do is, who's going to be working on that? Who's going to be doing the graphics?
Well, smilingly, I'm looking at Mary as I answer this, but
well, I would suspect that she is probably the right one. What will happen is Mary and I will do a Zoom meeting, and I'll show her exactly how to do it. And then when I'm finished the Zoom meeting, she'll probably show me how to do it.
Okay. Regular monthly feature, ask the priest.
Well, one of the reasons, by the way, I was just saying how good the station sounds is this business of dropping in the ask the priest, that little, what is it called, the
prayer intention.
All those are the things that you're dropping in. Those are really nice features.
Yeah, saint of the day. Yeah,
saint of the day in particular. That's excellent.
Okay, here's what happened. I think it was Pat who was trying to put in the beginning of the new month Pope's prayer intentions and the Father Vieira monthly reflection. And she felt like she had to be on Simeon at 6, 7, 8 o'clock the afternoon or evening before the new month started.
When is that program on?
Well, it's in a cart. What do you mean?
No. What time is it on? What time of day is it on?
It's in a cart, so it's whatever schedule. Mary, if there's a different answer that I'm giving.
How long is the event?
I believe Father Vieira's meditation is 2 minutes long.
Fine. If you put it in a cart, you can put it into a cart anytime you want to.
It has to start at the beginning of the new month. That's what Pat had the problem understanding how to do, unless she was programming.
Well, I hear exactly what she's saying. So, yeah, in order to get it in for the beginning of the month, and if you're going to put it into a cart, which plays every day, then yes, you'll have to do it right at the very beginning of the month.
All right, or maybe we could put Mary Sicker on that. Maybe she can come up with a way.
Well, I'm sure she will.
So the next question I had on my list, Ron, was seasonal time change. We're going to get the time change in October, November. If you helped us build or gave us guidance for building a fall winter series of logs, we would have that. We would do that one time, and then we'd be able to switch back and forth between spring, summer, and fall, winter.
Well, guess what? I think your memory is getting bad because I told you when I'm done with this, that's part of my deal. You're going to have your pledge drives for summer and winter, and you're going to have your time change logs for summer and winter. I'll build all of those. Now, maybe you guys are going to want to go in and modify them somehow. That's fine. But as far as getting them all rebuilt for you and getting the new logs set up, they'll all be done when I'm done. You don't have to worry about those. And then once you see how I did them, in the future, you just copy what I did.
Okay.
We're still on for next week, right? Next weekend?
You're flying in Thursday, Ron?
I'm sorry. No, I'm flying in next Tuesday. So let me take a look at my calendar. My calendar says I leave on the 20th from Orlando. I'm in there from the 20th until the 27th.
All right, we have to be careful with that because we had made arrangements for that place to stay, and I thought the date was the 22nd. We'll have to look into that.
Okay, well, worst comes to worst, I can stay at that other place that I stayed in, across the street.
I apologize, Mike. This is new news to me.
I would prefer not to change my schedule. That I'm kind of on a tight schedule, but I did. Well, I thought I was doing a good thing by opening up from the 20th to the 22nd, so it gave me plenty of time to get things done if I needed to stay that long, or leave earlier if I could leave earlier if things were done. I'm not going to just stay there to stay there, but I opened up that window.
So, Deacon, if you get stuck, I have, we could always put him at my place. It's just 20 minutes away.
Okay, thank you for that, Mike.
Yeah.
So this is new news, and we had somebody who's made arrangements for him starting on the 22nd, and so I'll have to work on that after we get disconnected here.
See, the last time I came out there, it was somewhat expensive, and I was able to get a ticket for, seems like it's in the $500 round trip from Orlando to Phoenix and back. Needless to say, yes, I do have to stop in Dallas going out and coming back, which I absolutely hate doing, but it was a lot better than spending $1,000. I mean, I'm doing it for half of what it cost to come out there the first time. And also it was because the days that I selected, I was able to get this really good fare. So it occurred to me that maybe that was a good thing to do. So I apologize. I probably should have checked first with you.
Very good. Mary, you have any tech questions?
So this is Mike. I'm going to try to figure out what is the best time I can go work with you, Ron? Does it matter what days I show up? Do I need to be there all the days?
Let me tell you what my plan is. Deacon is going to get all my. Did you get the computer, Deacon?
No, but I've been notified that it's coming, so it may be here today.
Oh, that's good. So he's going to lay out everything. Hopefully, he's going to get a big table there, and because there's a lot of stuff I sent out there. He's going to lay all this stuff out that I sent out, several 6 boxes of stuff, and then what I really want to do is organized and quickly as possible, get all the hardware installed so that if there's any hardware issues, we'll know about it immediately, and we'll have time to be doing other things while we're getting it replaced. I suspect everything will work fine. So I'm going to start out, and like I said, I'm not going to do anything on the Tuesday when I arrive there, but I'm going to hit the ground running on Wednesday. And of course, I'm on Eastern time zone, so usually I'll show up there 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning, and I usually stay until around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So you're welcome to come by anytime, and I'd be happy to see, there's a lot of things that I'm going to learn as well. I mean, I know what all the equipment is in the rack. I'm just not exactly sure how it's wired up.
So I like hardware the best. I like hardware the best, but I know we need
then you
help
should
with
be
the
there
other
for
stuff.
you should be there for the hardware days. That's the important thing. That would be really good.
Yeah.
For that. So that's
And I'm interested.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Okay.
Wednesday and
Thank you.
Thursday in particular.
And then also the whole way the transmitter works and all that stuff. I'd really like to learn about that.
Sure, we'll run
So-
up there and take a look at
Okay.
it again. I was
All
up
right.
the other day with Deacon, and I saw what he had and how it looks good, and it looks so. Yeah, be happy to go up there again.
Okay. I'm going to plan to be there Wednesday morning sometime.
Sure.
And then from there, we'll figure something out.
Okay.
The rest out.
Thank you, Mike. That's great. Yeah.
So
And I'm there all weekend
okay if I
anyway, so
Is it okay if I wear my jeans?
that's what I'm wearing shorts.
Well, I know how hot it is, but I just want to make sure that normally when I go to these, I'm never really sure. I mean, show up someplace like
No.
in the parish of a church, and it's like, well, I can't come. I don't want to go in there in jeans. So I
Just
never
as
really
casual.
know where I'm working until I actually see there. But you don't mind me wearing jeans or shorts if it's that hot. I'll
No.
make me feel.
Not at all. Not at all. And I have not bought a replacement to the tear gas, so you're safe there too.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but I had my physical today, and she said, has anything drastic happened to you in the past 6 months? And I said, yeah, other than the fact that I got tear gassed. She said, what did you do to cause that to happen? like I was in some sort of trouble.
Yeah. For Mike Hatfield, he may be the only one that doesn't know. I had tear gas in my car, which I've had for years in there. And when the temperature went up to like 120 in the car, Ron and I got in to go maybe to the transmitter site or something, and it exploded. Half of
Oh no.
it went on Ron.
Oh wow.
But I have to tell you, I've heard a lot about tear gas and the pepper spray, but I honest and truly never had any idea. First, you cannot see anything for 15 minutes. That's it. And the pain is excruciating. And I deal fairly well with pain, but that was really not good pain. And the worst part about it was all over my face and in my hair. So even after we went to the ER and we got it all washed out, it was still falling off of my hair and getting back into my eyes. So for like 3 days, I was getting little drops of it in every once in a while.
Your consulting fee is going to go up quite a bit from this, I can tell.
Deacon says to me while I'm trying to get my composure, he says, oh, I can see the lawsuit now. I said, wait a minute. I'm not built that way. Hey, give me a break. That's not going to happen. You sue anybody, sue the company that made the container that the pepper spray.
Yeah, there's right.
Okay, we done here?
Yeah, thank you so very much for this. It's great.
It's all
Great.
my pleasure, and this is a recording done the way somebody told me to do it. I have not used this method before, so I hope it's going to work out okay. I'll edit it up a little bit, and then I'll send it out. I may cut it up and edit it up in some pieces and try to make some sense of it so you don't have to watch the whole thing. Maybe it's better to watch the whole thing. I know what I'll do. I'll label it along the way, so just bring it up and you can find the label on it.
Thank you, Ron, very much.
All righty, my pleasure. Have a great
Thank
evening.
you. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Okay.